As I wander around, I do wonder about things. I wonder about you, about how all that stuff out in the world is affecting you. I mean, we're still in Advent, right? If you're under the age of 10, usually around this time, you can't wait until Christmas, but this year's different. So many of us are focused less on waiting for Christmas and more on waiting for the vaccine. You know, waiting for it to be approved, for it to be manufactured, for it to be distributed in Tennessee, for it to get to me so I get mine. But then we really do want the frontline workers, the ones whose life calling is to help us with illnesses. They're the ones that we want to get it first. And then we care about the elderly, those most vulnerable. Since we're still waiting, let's go back to how we began Advent on November 29th. That Sunday, right in the middle of our Hanging of the Green service, our special music was entitled, I Wonder as I Wander. The song was written by John Jacob Niles in 1933. He'd been traveling for his work in a small town in North Carolina. Niles stumbled onto an event being led by a family of revivalists. Now, Niles could tell the family had nothing. The day he saw them, they'd been told by police that they needed to leave town. So Niles wrote about them trying to raise enough money to buy gas for their car. He said, quote, a girl had stepped onto the edge of the little platform attached to their car. She began to sing. Her clothes were unbelievably dirty and ragged. She, too, was unwashed. Her ash blonde hair hung down in long tangles, but she was a beautiful girl. Even with no tutoring, she could sing beautifully. She smiled as she sang, but her smile was a sad, maybe forced smile. All she knew was a single line of a song that she seemed to make up. So Niles stood there and he listened. He paid the girl whose name was Annie Morgan 25 cents for her to sing the verse several times so he could hear the words that she was singing. No matter how many times she sang, all he'd get was 3 lines that became the first 3 lines of his first verse. After the family left town that day, Niles couldn't help but reflect on what she sang, and then to compose what her song meant to him and to us. So here's verse 1.
I wonder as I wander out under the sky, how Jesus the Savior did come forth to die for poor unready people like you and like I. I wonder as I wonder out under the sky.
Rejoicing begs us to pause from our fast-paced, hurriesome, worrisome lives and slow down enough to reflect on God. Remember earlier when I said I wonder about you, about how all that stuff out in the world is affecting you? Well, it's affecting me too. It's affecting all of us. Oh, sure, we can decorate and make things look beautiful like they always do for Advent and Christmas. But deep down, we can't pretend. We can't put on a happy song as if everything's okay. It's not good to skip family gatherings for Thanksgiving or Christmas. It may be our best option in COVID, but that doesn't mean that it's good. It doesn't mean that we need to pretend that we're okay with it. Instead of pretending, maybe we need to do just what Niles did. Keep listening to the song until it gets ingrained in us. For sure, Christmas is coming. Christ has been born. That's good news. But before we rush to the good news of Christmas, maybe we get honest about our yearnings down inside. Maybe if we're more honest about our yearnings, we'll be more honest about the counterfeit solutions that seem to work, but they don't. Maybe we just need to say, I wonder as I wander out under the sky, how Jesus the Savior did come for to die. For poor ordinary people like you and like I wonder as I wander out under the sky.
When Mary birthed Jesus, 'twas in a cow stall, with wise men and farmers and shepherds and all. But high from God's heaven a starlight did fall, and the promise it then did recall. If Jesus had wanted for any wee thing, a star in the sky or a bird on the wing, or all of God's angels in heaven for to sing, he surely could have heard it, for he was the King. I wonder, as I wander out under the sky, how Jesus the Savior did come forth to die for poor ornery people like you and like I wonder, as I wonder out